You cannot bring your guns to Chipotle. Is that really such a big deal, people? Just don't do it. Yeah, Chipotle had to release a statement about this because a bunch of guys that were open carry activists showed up to a Chipotle in Dallas, Texas with their rifles. So I think we have a picture of the guys, but we'll also read the statement from Chipotle. Recently, participants from an open carry demonstration in Texas brought guns, including military-style assault rifles, into one of our restaurants, causing many of our customers anxiety and discomfort. Because of this, we are respectfully asking customers not to bring guns into our restaurants unless they are authorized law enforcement personnel. And then it went on to say the vast majority of gun owners are responsible citizens and we appreciate them honoring this request. And we hope that our customers who oppose the carrying of guns in public agree with us that the role of elected officials and the legislative process to set policy in this area, not the role of businesses like Chipotle. So they're supporting the idea that they can walk around, that they legally have these guns and that they can carry them and put them down at the table. You can believe in the Second Amendment, you can believe in the right to bear arms, and still also think it's crazy for people to
walk around with assaults.
That's the camp I would fall in, that you just shouldn't bring a gun
I
into
have
Chipotle.
no interest in eating at a restaurant where people are like playing with their assault rifles, and or even just showing them, they have it on the table while they're eating their burrito or whatever it is that they're having. It does make me uncomfortable, so I completely understand why Chipotle would issue a statement like this. It's a private business. They have the right to issue a statement like this or have a policy like this. I find it interesting how careful they are in their wording, and it's because they don't want to anger gun rights activists. They want to make sure that they still have their business. But yeah, I think that they were very moderate, extremely moderate in their response and their proposal. Actually, not their proposal, their new policy, and stating their new policy. So, I mean, they have the right to do it. It is what it is.
So obviously you think they have the right to do it. Even if legally they can do it, you guys both agree that they, as a company, they have the right to say, don't do this here?
Definitely.
Even though it's a legal right, I suppose, to do it. These people aren't breaking the law, as ridiculous as it may seem.
I don't know how that works. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what you can, you can say no shoes, no shirt. No, I mean, and it's not a law that you have to wear a shirt or shoes. So right. I guess you can make those rules, whatever. But I like that you refer to them, or they refer to themselves as the open carry activists, which I call them, which I think is closer to reality, I call them thumb-dicked virgins. That would be closer to what they really are.
It's a small penis issue. That's what you're saying,
Those
Jimmy.
guys they haven't seen it since the pussy since they were born. You know those guys. I mean, you saw the pictures of those guys, right? Look at those guys. Oh yeah, those guys are getting a endless stream of pussy at their house, ladies and gentlemen.
Really, without being glib or jokey about this, imagine if you walked into Chipotle. We all can recognize what Chipotle looks like. That's what all our Chipotles look like. If you walked in and these two guys were sitting there with these assault rifles,
I'd be uncomfortable. I just would not want to be there. I'm keeping it real. I wouldn't like it, and I would probably leave. And that's probably why Chipotle decided to implement this policy. I totally understand why they would do it. Look, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I think people do have the right to bear arms. But at the same time, we need regulations and policies put in place to ensure the wrong people don't get their hands on guns, and to ensure that we're not living in this constant state of paranoia. And that's the constant state of paranoia that we're dealing with right now, where we're seeing school shootings, we're seeing like kids shoot themselves because their parents are leaving their guns out. I mean, just these horrible, horrible stories. I don't want to be in a fast food restaurant with people holding guns. It's just not right.
And by the way, before JR jumps in, this isn't the first chain to do this. Starbucks had to do this also because of a Starbucks Appreciation Day that was done by gun rights groups, because they wanted also to carry their weapons in Starbucks, because you really need an assault rifle to get a cup of coffee. JR, take it away.
Well, see, and this also goes, I think we may have mentioned this with the Jack in the Box story. So one of the big things about, everybody gets to carry guns, because what if the bad guys are holding up the place and then maybe a good guy comes with a gun and shoots the shit out of them and everything is great. So then what if I'm one of those guys, except mine is concealed in my back, and I walk in, I see these two assholes, I'm like, oh, this shit is going down. Time for me to be a hero. Let me start fucking shooting.
Yes.
When you see someone with guns, how do you know? Is there good guy print on the fucking forehead or what? So when there's just this gun nature of everyone just standing with one, how do we know that this restaurant isn't in danger and I get to be Mr. Hero now?
By the way, when is the last time, again, I am for the Second Amendment, I believe people have a right to bear arms, but when was the last time someone with a gun stopped a situation? When was the last time that there was a school shooting that the person was stopped by a random, not law enforcement, but just a random person with a gun. Do you guys have any recollection of that? I mean, I'm sure it's happened before.
That's why we need more guns. That's why you need, because we could stop those. If the one guy had a gun at the thing. By the way, Tennessee this week considering whether to train teachers to use guns in the classroom, has yet to train them to use books.
I love that. I love that though. How hilarious is it that you have the GOP specifically saying that they don't trust our public school teachers. They're not competent enough to educate our students, but they're competent enough to hold guns.
Yeah.
And to protect the students if somebody comes in and tries to shoot the school up. It's amazing.
By the way, I don't want to gloss over what JR was saying, because I was just watching Kill Bill this weekend, which is a revenge fantasy, all these Quentin Tarantino movies.
Love
There are all
Kill
these
Bill.
revenge fantasy things, and I do think a lot of people are walking around with that idea that, I have this gun and some shit is going to go down and I'm going to save the day, but usually I think it's them that ends up causing the problem.
Oh, no doubt. I can't. Can you imagine? I can't imagine if I had a gun in my car. I would be in jail and people would be dead. I can't imagine it. It's so
You would shoot yourself by the time you got out of your parking lot.
I would shoot everybody.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be good. That is such a bad idea. I'm against. You guys are for the. I'm against the right to bear arms.
So you don't
Really?
think anyone should have guns?
I don't know about that. I think it should be a lengthy process, and that you should have to
regulations.
show. You should have to show a need, and that's the way it is now. Or they're just changed it in California. It used to be you would have to go to the sheriff and say, I want to carry a gun. You could have a gun in your house. That's different than carrying a gun. If you want to have a gun in your house, okay. But if you want to carry it, I think it should be. There should be a lot of hurdles.
What if you want to
go?
go shoot vermin or skeet? That's the thing, though.
But then can't you?
It's referred to
Well, I
as
think
skeet shooting, right?
if you want to shoot vermin or skeet, there's going to be a 3-tooth minimum, and if you pass the 3-tooth minimum, then you can carry a gun.